Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the first episode of the Working Musicians Car Vlog series. I'm going to talk about some things here as I'm driving here. It's the first time trying this out, so I'm just going to be kind of driving along and we'll see how this goes. I'm going to try not to get distracted by the camera here so I can drive safely. But I want to talk about some things. A lot of my students come into me with questions as to sort of along the lines of, can I actually make a living as a musician? You know, is the dream dead? And the short answer is no, the dream is not dead. You can definitely make a living at it. But there's a much longer answer that'll take several videos to cover. But mainly, the thing I want to talk about the most is something that not a whole lot of people are talking about, if any. Nobody seems to talk about the mental aspect of this whole thing. And if you're a musician or an artist of any sort, I have to believe the artists are quite similar. You probably have a lot of mental issues. And I'm not saying that in a derogatory sense. I'm saying that there's a huge mental game going on behind everything we do. And I don't know what it is about musicians in particular, but they seem to suffer from it the most. And whether it's just developing your skills, getting out in front of people, writing your own original music, sharing it with others, just to get to this point where you can actually step on stage in front of others or even play in front of somebody else in your own home is monumental. It really takes a lot of courage, and a lot of times you feel like you're putting yourself out there, you know. And I want to get over that hurdle real quick, guys and girls. There is nothing to be afraid of. If you can play a song from start to finish, and you can sing along, or whatever it is, if you can play anything, play in front of others. Most people really just don't care if you're bad. You know, and I mean that in a positive way, okay? They do care. They care about you. They care about your music. Most people are genuinely good, caring, wonderful people. But you're going to care more than anybody else cares about your level of performance and your artistry. You're going to be way harder on yourself than anybody else can ever be. And you just got to understand that there's nothing to be scared of. You really just got to get out there and play. And understand that you are going to fall down. Get up on stage as soon as possible. Play in front of others, play in a band, find musicians to collaborate with, jam with, as soon as possible. Don't wait until you think you're good enough, because chances are you're never going to be good enough. And I've been doing this for 20-some years, 25 years at least. And out of those 25 years, I probably only have about five really productive years. Because so often you put it down. You start learning to play the guitar or the piano or whatever, and you find out it's a lot harder than you thought, and your progress isn't going as well as you thought, and so you stop. And then you pick it up again, you know, later on you're like, wait, I've got this itch to play, and I've got to do this. So you pick it up for a while, and then you start practicing, you're getting better and you're better, and then something else happens. And there's just a million things that can happen. Most of it has to do with ordinary life and challenges and the amount of time that we have. You know, life circumstances change most often, so you're just like, well, okay, you know, too busy right now, but I'll pick it up again later. And then time goes by. And then you find yourself, you have to prime the pump again. You know, a year later, all of a sudden you're like, wow, I haven't picked up this guitar in a whole year. Sometimes 3, 4, 5 years. I mean, I've gone periods of you know, upwards of 5 years without even touching a guitar, without even having a guitar. And and you're like, wow, you know, a huge part of me has been missing. And then you jump back into it, and you practice, and you get better, and you join a band, and you know, and you get out and you play some shows, and everything's going great, and you're living the rock star dream, and then the band breaks up, you know, and now you got nobody to play with, and your motivation's gone. So you sit around and you mope for another year and a half, yeah, or you join these other, you know, bands that don't go anywhere, you know, and all of a sudden now you're 2-3 years gone by without playing any music, and then you have to pick yourself back up and you start over again. That's what gets a lot of us, you know. If we would just stay consistent and keep taking baby steps forward, we'd be a lot farther. And it's taken me years to figure that out, really. But I think the number one thing that had prevented me from an early period in my life is when I first started playing guitar. I remember playing, first time I ever played in front of people. I played at a high school, some kind of high school musical talent. I don't know what it was called, but anyhow, I was probably in 8th grade, and I got a taste for it then. The gym was packed. The gym was absolutely packed. I mean, I'm guessing 300 people, at least. And I'm just a kid, you know, like 12 years old, and 13 years old, scared out of my mind. I just blocked him out. I didn't look at him. I just pretended that there was not a wall of people in front of me, and I played Stairway to Heaven, solo on the guitar, you know, and people clapped, they cheered, and all at once I didn't know how to react really, but I soaked it up and I loved it and I appreciated it so much. But part of me said that, yeah, you know, it wasn't that good, big deal, you know, not really worthy of the praise, so I really blew it off. I got bit by the bug early on from that performance. From then on, I kind of knew that I wanted to play in front of people, and I wanted to be on stage, and I wanted to share my music. So, but there was a little voice in my mind from early on, and I don't know who ever would have told me that I couldn't do it, that I couldn't be a rock star, that I you know, there's all these little voices in my head that I've never actually really heard in my life, or if I have, I couldn't pinpoint exactly who said it or when. But I come from a small town, nobody ever makes it big. You got a 1 in a million chance, better go plan B. You hear all this other type of stuff going on. You're like, yeah, well, shoot, if you know you could make a living, you know, for that easy, then everybody'd be doing it. You know, it's all this sorts of ridiculous stuff that's really just going on inside your head. So when you pick up a guitar, at first you're like, ooh, I don't know. This is really hard. Can I do this? This is frustrating. So you got this little voice in your head that says, nah, you're not cut out for this. You should have started this when you were 6 years old. And then you got another little voice in your head that says, you know, who are you? Who do you think you are? And you got another voice, maybe it sounds like your parents saying, what are you doing messing around? You're wasting your time on that. Get a real job. You know, you should be doing something else right now. You're spending too much time on that guitar. All sorts of craziness. And then you push through that somehow, and you get kind of good. You practice, and you get kind of good, and then you're like, well, okay, there's open mic night coming up. Hey, maybe I could, you know, just give it a shot. Yeah, that's great. You know, and you're like, all these voices in your head say, well, I'm not as good as this guy. Maybe I'm not ready yet. You know, there's all of these little things that go on in our minds that just get in the way. It's a mental game. You know, let's talk about somebody who wants to write their own music, and I've been through this. Yeah, I've written hundreds of pieces of songs that in a moment I'm able to just forget everything and just channel this music somehow. And when you channel this music, it just comes out of you. You don't know what you're writing, you don't know how you're writing it, but it's coming out and you're writing it. But it's not yours, it's coming from somewhere else. And it's a wonderful thing, it really is. That's a beautiful part of songwriting. But you'll get one little piece and you'd be like, oh, this is great, I love it, I'm digging it. And then either the next day you go back and you're scared to listen to it, so you let a couple days go by and then you listen to it and you're like, that's not as good as I thought it was at the time. I had a bunch of unfinished stuff. I mean, hundreds of pieces of songs that I could never quite finish and hammer out. Mainly because I'd go back and I'd say, you know what, that's not as good as I really thought it was. And that's usually the voice in my head that says that, which prevents me from working on and developing it and actually having a whole bunch of completed songs. Well, you have to realize that you're not the only one who has these difficulties. Anybody who tries to pick up the guitar, piano, or any kind of instrument goes through these same sort of hurdles. Self-doubt, self-loathing can really mess with your mind. So the only way to get past it is to go through it, to face those challenges head on, to go ahead and play in front of others when you're not good enough, and to have the freedom of expression. And that's an attainable goal, and it will take time if you're just starting out. It's not something you can rush, and you got to piece it together. It's not something that you're just going to instantly uncover one day. You're going to have a lot of aha moments. There's going to be a lot of light bulbs going on. And along the way, a lot of different pieces will fit together. But it's not just going to happen overnight. You're not just going to instantly master the guitar or any instrument. So you can't rush it. I'm about to go in for teach my piano, vocals, and guitar lessons tonight. My throat is really dry, so I hope I ain't got no problems going on right now. But yeah, I do have a day job. I'm not a rock star with a platinum record on the wall yet. So I do what I enjoy, what I love, what gives me fulfillment. What gives me fulfillment is to teach others what I know and help them, become better players, better musicians, better artists. And really help them come out of their shells, and I hope I can do the same for you. At least give you some inspiration to just keep going. That's it for now. Till next time, talk to you later. Again, hit the like button, subscribe. I appreciate any kind of help, any assistance. I really enjoy sharing this information with you, and I hope it helps somebody. If you're the one person that, if this helps you, then great. Hey, we're in. Appreciate it. Talk to you later.